What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, an interesting video for you here on the channel. Who will be the surprise entrants for the Men's Royal Rumble? Now, I have to preference this video by saying I don't entirely, truthfully think all of these will be surprise entrants. I think we get three, three out of the four, or out of the eight. So that's a lot. That's not there, but I still believe that 3 out of the 8 probably get shown for a couple of reasons. But let's be honest here. For this Men's Royal Rumble, there's not a lot, I think, of surprise entrants. I think you have some that I expect, some that will happen, some that a lot of people won't expect, like maybe a Big E, but I don't think Big E can wrestle. I think that's why the whole thing with the New Day thing happened. I think that there's a lot of possibilities on surprise entrants. So I feel like we got to get started with all 8. Let's start off with somebody that I think everyone believes is going to happen, and that is Joe Hendry. Now, you're going to notice on this list there's a lot of TNA people, and I think the reason why I have so much TNA is because, one, WWE and TNA have already worked in the past with each other, and two, when I'm recording this, it's a day after WWE and TNA have agreed on a deal to work with each other for a long, long time. Now, it said NXT superstars a lot, so it's kind of hard to see like WWE superstars go over to TNA. But I have to say, I'm 100% expecting like some TNA players to kind of superstars, I should say, go into this Royal Rumble, at least have a kind of at least appearance, because with this deal they're gonna want that. Joe Hendry, number one, of course. I think everyone wants Joe Hendry to be in this kind of TNA. WWE, what's it called? Deal to kind of have a bigger presence, like how he did on NXT for a long time. I want Joe Hendry to come back, show out in the Royal Rumble. It makes a ton of sense to do it. The pop will be huge. We need Joe Hendry at the Royal Rumble. This is not one that is kind of as hard to imagine, but I still want to talk about. Up next, we have AJ Styles. This one's a little harder for me because I think with the injury, it's hard for me to say for sure, does AJ Styles somehow miraculously come back before with the injury, or is he actually injured and he's going to be a little bit? I think it's more likely he's actually injured. It's going to be a little bit, rather than saying AJ Styles could come back by the Royal Rumble. But you never know. You never know. You truly never know. AJ Styles likely will still be injured, but if not, he will be a surprise to a lot of fans. I think we still want to see AJ Styles have a good title run somehow in the future. When does it happen? I don't know. But AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble is always exciting because maybe, somehow, some way, we could get him to maybe AJ Styles versus Gunther. And I think that's a match that a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, want to see. Up next, we have Josh Alexander. This is another TNA person. Josh Alexander, though, and this is why I say this, could potentially be a free agent in by the Royal Rumble. I think his contract ends January 27th, or is that Jordan Grace's? His contract ends sometime, whatever. I expect Josh Alexander to test the market. I think WWE is the likely way to go because of how popular he's been in recent times. But at the same time, does he go to somewhere where he can do, his C4, somewhere where he can do his moveset and maybe a little better in an AEW, because, again, Power Driver is usually banned for WWE, but Penta found out a way to kind of still somewhat do it in a really interesting way. So I could see Josh Alexander still coming to WWE. I'd rather have him maybe on NXT for a little bit. He's somebody that I really want to see get involved with NXT, but he would be main roster ready immediately. Josh Alexander is a wonderful talent, one of the better talents TNA has, and I fully expect Josh Alexander to have a good chance at going to WWE. I think the Royal Rumble is the perfect place to kind of introduce him as a crazy threat, in my opinion. Up next, we have Trick Williams, another one that I'm expecting 100%. I'm recording this for the next NXT episode where I'm pretty sure Trick Williams is going to talk to the NXT crowd. I think a lot of us expect Trick Williams to leave NXT this year and to go to the main roster. Is it through the draft? Is it through the Royal Rumble and then getting signed? Is it through something else? I don't know. But all I'm saying is I expect Trick Williams in some sense, some form, some way to still be involved with maybe NXT for a little bit, but to be in this Royal Rumble. I think everybody wants it. Everybody wants to hear that music. Everyone wants to say, whoop that Trick. Everyone wants to hear Trick Williams have a amazing day at the Royal Rumble, and then you can have some good kind of stare downs with Carmella Hayes, with if Braun Breaker's in it, Braun Breaker. You could have some stare downs with even like Grayson Waller. Like there's a lot of players that and superstars you can kind of really get involved with. And I think Trick Williams would be an interesting person to have as a surprise entrant. Up next, we have Matt Cardona. Now, Matt Cardona is an interesting one because I think some way, shape, or form, and I kind of regret not adding him on this list now thinking about it, I feel like we're going to get somebody to actually sign with WWE, come back, like, for example, how Andrade did. Is it Matt Cardona? Is it Aleister Black, which I actually am starting to feel like a little more, but I think his contract ends after Royal Rumble, if I'm pretty sure, so maybe not then. Matt Cardona is one that the Indie King deserves his flowers here soon to come back, not as Zack Ryder, but Matt Cardona. And Chelsea Green, his wife, has been very pressing him about coming back to WWE. Now, what would a role with Matt Cardona look like? Would it be a mid-card? Would it be going for a main title? I would hope for at least going to get a title in some sense or form. But I'm telling you now, does Matt Cardona just want to stay on his kind of indie way where he's going from show to show to show rather than going back to the WWE? Or does he want to come to the WWE and get maybe some paychecks for a little bit? It's hard for me to see which one it could be. But a way that you could really get Matt Cardona to get a pop would be the Royal Rumble rather than introducing him some way, shape, or form at another show. Up next, we have Nick Nemeth. This is another one that's kind of interesting. Nick Nemeth would not sign with WWE, so this isn't like that. But TNA's whole kind of deal they have going on with WWE, I could really see Nick Nemeth coming to a WWE, maybe using the Dolph Ziggler music. Again, if you didn't know, this is Dolph Ziggler, but he's using his real name in TNA. I want Nick Nemeth to go back to a Royal Rumble and have kind of some moves, some moveset, something crazy happen where they're really showing off him again because he does deserve it. I think this could just be biased because I'm so biased to the people that sell so well. Dolph Ziggler was one of the, if not is the most underrated wrestler we had for a while. The way he could sell, the way he could do a little bit of everything, I thought Nick Nemeth was deserving of the top guy at some point. Not actually the top guy, but you know what I'm saying. You know, like top of the card. So I have to say, I want this moment at Royal Rumble for him to be involved. Maybe there's some stare downs where you can have some people come to TNA. I don't know. But it'd be interesting. Maybe instead of Nick Nemeth, we see Moose instead, but I'm kind of iffy on that one. Up next, we have Corey Graves. Now, I think these next two are more like shots in the dark, in my opinion. Corey Graves is here because I think if you're a WWE fan, you've seen all the drama with Corey Graves recently, with the reports of, him sending out the tweets saying, oh, imagine doing all this work for WWE, and then you get told you are going down to NXT and because someone's more famous than you, basically talking about Pat McAfee. I still believe, and I'm still in the camp, that Corey Graves and this could all be a work. Now, it is a little scary that a lot of people are replying saying, you know what, Corey Graves sent this out to get fired, which I love Corey Graves. I'd rather have probably Corey Graves than Pat McAfee, in my opinion, because I love the babyface to heel kind of aspect, but I love Pat McAfee. Don't get me wrong on that. The thing that I have to say, though, is that maybe somehow, some way, this is a work. Maybe the end goal of all this is Corey Graves versus Pat McAfee for WrestleMania, because I know Corey Graves is medically retired, but they said that he could come back to wrestling, like I heard like a year ago that he could, and Pat McAfee still wants a match here soon, so maybe there is somewhat of a match at WrestleMania, and maybe this is a kind of work that they're having. And it's a big way to have like a commentator and commentator match. It's hard to believe because you don't know if it's a work or not. But I'm going to say for now it is a work in Corey Graves' surprise entrant. And I'm not confident on that one, but I could see it over Matt Cardona, for example. Like the people that I expect to have right now, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember who my last one is. Why am I forgetting my last one? Oh, I know who my last one is. Okay. I expect Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry. Why am I blanking now? Joe Hendry, Trick Williams, and there's one more. Corey Graves could be it. Josh Alexander could really be it. I could really see it. And Nick Namath. Those are the 5 right now that I feel confident. The others are kind of interesting. Josh Alexander, though, I hope it would happen. And last but certainly not least, I have Jeff Hardy here. I think this is more just me kind of fancy booking with how legends are coming back and TNA is now working. Could we see Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy coming back during the Royal Rumble to have like maybe a stare down with CM Punk? If Jeff Hardy's ready to kind of retire, then I think Jeff Hardy and CM Punk having a stare down, with Jeff Hardy being more of a heelish character to CM Punk, maybe it's later on in the future when he's going for a title reign, something happens. I want to see it because I think Jeff Hardy and CM Punk was one of the best feuds we've ever had. Let's see it again. He's my surprise entrant, but I could see a way where this doesn't happen at all. But again, the whole TNA kind of contract thing, we could see it. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.